until the end of the meeting. So, very good evening to all the participants. It's first of Feb and third day of our 10 days FDP session. And the topic of our today's session is Questionnaire Design and Development. And for this, we are having our divine personality. She is none another than Dr. Ankita Jain ma'am. But before we start with our session, I would like to give a short achievement journey of Ankita's ma'am to share with you all. So a very good evening to you, ma'am. Dr. Ankita Jain ma'am has been associated with Sri Vaishnav Institute of Management and Research, Indore, as Assistant Professor in Department of Management since 2017 to 2022. Prior to which, ma'am has served in Prestige Institute of Management and Research and Department of Law and Management, Indore, for 2 years. Ma'am has teaching experience of more than 7 years, and even ma'am has completed her PhD from Prestige Institute of Management and Research, DAVV Indore, under the guidance of Dr. Anukul Manish Haide. Ma'am has been involved in teaching subjects like human resource management, principle and practices of management, entrepreneurship, business communication, organizational development, personality development, performance management, resource development, leadership skills and change management, human values and professional ethics, and, and other general management oriented subjects as undergraduate and postgraduate level. This, sorry for the network issues, ma'am. Recently, ma'am has completed her annual 5 week. Recently, ma'am has completed her annual 5 week faculty development program at Indian Institute of Management, Indore IIM, on from 11th April 2022 to 13th May 2022. One patent has been published in April 2022 on methods or model for solving the unemployment problem through digital businesses. Ma'am was invited for expert lecture at various places. She has been coordinated and moderated various events in national and international events also. She has been book editor in book Virtual Teaching in India during lockdown. Apart from that, 10 books are also under process. Ma'am has been attended various national and international conferences and presented more than 45 papers and published more than 30 research papers, book chapters and case studies in international, national journals and conference proceedings. She has also been attended various training sessions, workshops, faculty development programs, and lectures by management forums. Ma'am has completed various life projects and major research projects with students. If we talk about her jobs, Ma'am has been the part of institutional committees such as Research and Development Committee, Industry Institute Interface Committee, Admission Cell, Cultural and Literacy Committee, Admission Cell, Placement Cell, Management Games, and Extracurricular Activities Committee and Photography Club member. She has organized various cultural events including fashion shows, flash mobs at various places in Indore. Ma'am has been honored at Devi Ahilyabai Holkar Airport by Airport Authority for presenting flash mobs on Republic Day and World Tourism Day. Also counseling the student for their career as well as the individual development. Ma'am has keen interest in research work and counseling to the students. She is an motivational speaker, career guide, and life coach by passion. She trained various students for multiple skills. If we talk about the certifications, she has received training in development, academic writing, literature research, and reference management in academic writing, human resource development by Naptel Swayam, Enhancing Soft Skills and Personality by Naptel Swayam, Fundamentals of Digital Marketing, competency-based interviewing for interviews, preparing a written application, 360-degree feedback, and performance planning. So, in short, we can say that she's a rare combination of beauty with brain. So, ma'am, we welcome you on behalf of Research Foundation of India. Please hold the footpath and guide all of us.
Thank you so much, Nikita ma'am, for the introduction. That was not required that much. So thank you so much, Research Foundation of India, for this wonderful event. And they organize all the events like very frequently so that everybody can get chance to attend and understand things. Plus, thank you so much, Team RFI, to invite me for this particular event. So, without any delay, I would like to start my session. Thank you so much. So, Nikita ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Yeah, just a minute. I'll be sharing my screen so that just check out the visibility as well. My PPT visible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So, as ma'am told us already that this is the third day of International Training and Development FDP program on a step-by-step guide to write a good research paper. So, in which there is one what I understand and what I consider, whether it is a PhD or a research paper, questionnaire plays one of the most important role, because after writing the introduction and literature, whenever we are coming to research methodology of a paper or a PhD work, the questionnaire comes in our mind. Like obviously you need to know the sample size, the sample design, the sample, basically the who will be the sample, the population, everything. So ultimately it is roaming around somewhere, the questionnaire. If we talk about how much data we are going to collect, data collection tool, then that after collecting the data only we can go for data analysis. I hope I am audible and visible, right? The PPT. Ma'am, one more time I would like to confirm.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible and the screen is also visible.
Done. Fine. So, as I was saying, that ultimately this is most important. Until unless we are not ready with the research methodology, we are not ready with the questionnaire, and we are not having the data collection, we cannot go to the next chapter. That is data analysis and interpretation, findings and discussion and conclusion. So, ultimately, we should know that what is the importance and why this questionnaire is that much important. And even I always recommend to the students and the scholars that whenever they are preparing the questionnaire, whenever they know that they are going for some research, they should start thinking about it. They, whenever they are preparing their literature, they are reviewing the previous literatures, they should always have this thing in the mind, that what is their research question, what are the research problems, so that they can understand it and they can read it. They can review the papers, the studies, the journals, as per having this thing in mind, in their mind, that they have to prepare the questionnaire somehow. So in this case, what they should do, they should start writing the questions whenever they are reading any of the research paper. So with which type of questions they have taken, so ultimately this should be considered. So today the topic is all about this data collection tool, that is questionnaire. This is a primary data collection tool basically. So we have to talk about today that primary data collection tool, that is questionnaire design. Also we are going to talk about its development. So a brief guide to questionnaire development. So a critical component of survey. Whenever we talk about survey, so it comes in our mind as like the thing which comes in the mind is questionnaire. So critical component of survey research involves constructing a questionnaire. So this is very much important. So as I have told you, there are basically two types of data, and we classify the data in two types basically. One is primary, another one is secondary. So whenever we are taking data from other sources apart from like government sources, any of the journals, publications, any kind of magazines, website, internet sources, anything, so these are coming under the secondary data. But whenever we are collecting data that is first hand, that is a primary data we call it. So that should be like collected by us directly from the person, the respondents, or whoever are the targeted people. So the questionnaire is a pre-formulated written test set of questions. Questionnaire is nothing. It is all about set of questions to which the respondents record their answer, usually within the defined alternatives. Like basically we give them options most of the times and they just click on it or tick on it. So this is all about the definition of questionnaire. Now let's talk about, I'm considering that you all are understanding the meaning, and if you are having any doubt you can ask me after this session, so you can consider it. So there are types of questionnaire: open-ended, close-ended, and mixed. There can be multiple: structured, semi-structured, unstructured, but still there are basically three parts are there: open-ended, close-ended, and mixed. I'll be telling you later what is it. So first we should know, we have seen the definition. Now we are going to talk about the elements of the questionnaire design. First of all, what we have to do, that we should identify the questionnaire content. As I have told you, whenever you know your title, whenever you know your research objective, whenever you know basically how to what to study, what is your target, who are your targeted audience, what is your population, so start reviewing paper accordingly and start finding the content for it, right? Then write or select questions to measure variable of interest. So according to your title, whatever the variables the heading is having, the title is having, or whatever are your research question, accordingly start identifying the variable and select question as per different variables, so that we can we can prove our hypothesis. If we can set up we can prove our hypothesis to achieve our objectives basically. Then construct the questionnaire. First, we have collected the content. Then we have to measure variables which are required in this questionnaire. And then finally, we are going to construct, means we are going to develop it. So a questionnaire is more than the questions. It's not only question, it is having number of things which we are going to discuss. So before designing the questionnaire, as I have told you already, that decide upon the study purpose, means we should know our objectives of the study, then aims, then research questions, research problems, and hypotheses. Then secondly, you should know what you're going to measure, means what variables you have taken and what is you are going to try, or what are you trying to find out, that you should know. Then develop a preliminary analysis plan. You should also develop a basic plan, that what exactly after measurement, what you are planning, means you can say the expected outcome, your plan of action, what is there in your mind. There should be some studies which you have read already, and according to that you must be having something in your mind. So you have to develop a basic plan of action. Then decide upon data collection mode. Now we are going to study about this also, how we are going to collect this data. So there can be different methods. Nowadays there are various ways. We will be going to discuss all those things also. Number one, interview method. It can be a paper pencil, means you can note down. And third one, computer assistant, means you can take the help of computers for the data collection. Like nowadays we are using the Google form for the purpose of data collection. Now, next one is considerations when writing the questions. What is important things which you should consider? One is type of question. Number two, response formats, and number three, question wording. We will be talking about all these things in the further slides. So number one is type of question, then response format, and questions wording. So the first one we are going to talk about, that is type of questions. So as I have already told you, the questionnaire is of basically three types: open-ended, close-ended, and partially close-ended. So as the name says, open-ended means you have space to write whatever you want to say. You can explain in your word. Close-ended is when You don't have option to write or explain. It is just very simple. Just you can, just a second, you can just click on it. Means when you are getting options to choose, so that is close ended question. And partially close ended means there can be some questions which are open ended, there can be some question close ended, or you may say the same question is having options, then further you have to explain. I'll be telling you by the example what is it. So open question, more information but difficult to codify, because when in the Google form, if you have ever experienced, if somebody is writing a same word with different letters, for an example, I'm writing Madhya Pradesh and I'm writing capital M, then all the small, then P capital, all the small, other letters are small. So that Google form is considering it another word. If I'm writing all in caps, that it is considering another. Then if I'm writing all these smalls, again it is considering another. If I am using jumbled letters in the same word, so it is considering it as another. So whenever it is coming to open-ended question, the people are writing in their own words. They are writing whatever they have in their mind. So there cannot be any standardization. There cannot be any accuracy in the words. For example, if I am asking somebody's age, that can be 1 2 3 4 or anything up to 50, 50 60 or 65, whatever. So anybody can write 30, anybody can write 42, somebody can write 27, anything. But when it is coming to codify, so it will be difficult. So in the close ended question, the same question can be asked in the categories. Like you are in the category of age group 1 to 10, 11 to 20, or you can say 5 group, the 21 to 25, 25 to 30, whatever you want. So the same question can be asked in this way. So again, in this, what will happen? We can at least categorize. We are giving options, and everybody is choosing option who is falling in whichever category. So accordingly, it would be easy to codify. Codification, why we are talking about it? Without codification, we cannot run the data on the SPSS, because the qualitative data doesn't work there. It is all about the binary number which works in that, and we need to we need to do coding for the same. For an example, for the gender, we have two, male and female. If we're talking about this, so we have to give one to male, two to female. Accordingly, we have to, so whenever it is coming to open-ended question, it is always difficult to codify, entering and analyzing the data. You have to put lots of efforts while considering this. And if we talk about the close-ended questions, it is easy to codify, entering and analyzing. Now, let's talk about some more points about the open-ended questions. Responses are not provided to the respondents. In this, obviously, we are not giving them options that tell me your age, you are in which category. We are just asking them, so they have to decide. And researcher doesn't need to know universe of possible answers. Respondents do not influence by the specific alternate. These are the advantages, that they are not having any answer. For example, if I'm putting the category of 21 to 30, and if I am falling in, for example, 22, so I have to be in this category which is going till 30. Also, there is one more thing, there is a gap. Nowadays, there is a gap between the generation of 21 and the 30. So you can say that in this, there is no option, something like you are not bound to answer something. You are having open option, you can choose. So sometimes it is good. It is useful in exploratory analysis, exploratory work studies, basically the qualitative data whenever we want. And whenever, especially, we are taking the interviews, means we are using the interview method, it is good enough for that, because ultimately you want real answers and specific answer from each and every individual if we are talking about the interview. But when it comes to uh, this other methods of survey like questionnaires and everything, this is they are troubling. So now let's talk about the close ended. In this, a list of acceptable responses is provided to the researchers. Means you are given the options, as I have told you, you are given the categories of the age, and you have to choose. For the gender, male or female, you have given the option, you can choose. So it is easy to respond, easy to communicate in the same frame respondents or reference to the respondents. As I have told you, standardization is very will be there because everybody is answering on the same parameters. Less variability in the interview performance, as well as it is easy to record. So it is easy to record, so it will be taking lesser time. So it is good. So most of the time we should use close-ended question until unless you are not using interview method or you are not collecting any of the qualitative data. Now let's see some examples. See, they have given some options. Like these are the close-ended question. They have asked the question and they have given the option of yes, no, or never, don't know, more times, one, two times, two, three times. Whatever the question you are asking, you are given the options. Like these are some more. Like you also use the Likert scale. Most of the time, whenever we are talking about the thesis, PhD work or research papers, we are just doing what? We are using the Likert scale. For an example, we are using you are satisfied, dissatisfied scale. So in that case, there would be one neutral point, then both the sides, satisfaction, dissatisfaction. So there will be scale like strongly dissatisfied, dissatisfied, neutral, satisfied, and highly satisfied. You can also talk about strongly agree, then agree, neutral, disagree, and strongly disagree. Then again, there is these are kind of open-ended questions. The second one, what are the plans, dreams, or goals for the future? Obviously, you cannot ask anybody in this terms of close-ended questions, so you have to give options. Or the first one is the option is the example of close-ended, where you have asking, do you have any plans? So yes or no or don't know, they can answer. But what plans or dreams they are having, that cannot be asked in terms of close-ended questions. So sometimes you should ask some of the questions which are close-ended, some are open-ended. Response formats. See, we have talked about three things. Type of questions, so we have discussed. Number 2 point, response formats we are discussing. So response format can be multiple categories that exhaust all meaningful answers and mutually exclusive. For example, I have asked a question. During a typical work week, for example, 40 hours, how many hours do you spend on health promotion in the community? So that person can say less than 10 hours, 10 to 20, 20 to 30 hours, whatever the answer he can or she can give. Okay, so there can be different types. For example, ordered response. See, as I have told you, Likert scale, like this, there is again a scale they have given that you are asking some questions and they are giving answers like 1 to 10 on the scale of 1 to 10, where they are saying that 1 is complete confidence and 10 is no confidence at all. Or you can say opposite to this. It's all up to you. You can decide if somebody is out of 10, then it's very good or extremely good, or they are doing excellent. And somebody who is at 1, like very poor response, on 5, you can say that it is an average answer or average thing. In this case, basically order response format, what happens that they have given the scale and the numerical rating scales we are using. Unordered means there is no particular sequence, or they are giving options. They are not giving a scale for the same 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is rating is not there, ranking is not there basically. So they are given the answer. They can read and answer. So in this, the most they have asked a question, and for this they have to answer only for one. So morale, like there can be different options. For example, this low staff morale, poor staff training, many patients, no other healthcare options means there are very diverse questions. These cannot be understood, or these cannot be written on this parameter. Partially close-ended questions means these questions are close-ended but partially. For example, if somebody is asking what is your position at this school or what is your designation, classroom teacher, principal, counselor, nurse, or other position. Like you can be asked as like you are assistant professor, associate professor, professor, or other. If other you are choosing, then you have to specify. In any of the question, this kind of questions can be asked. Like for example, you are giving like option of where in which city you are living, and you are giving 5 options, and after that you have written other. If somebody is from other state, other city, they can write there. Visual analog scale, you must have seen this kind of visual analog scale most of the times, especially in the malls when you are having some taking like going for some shopping, and they are judging or talking about your shopping experiences. So this is all about visual analog. I was talking about this particular scale. Likert scale was one of the most important and very famous scale which we use. So the questions can be asked and can be given, answers can be given on this parameter: strongly agree, agree, undecided, disagree, and strongly disagree. This is in a sequence, high to low or low to high, you can say. And the question to be are supposed to be asked, and answers should be in this parameter only. For example, smoking is injurious to health. If you are considering it yes at yes and you are agree to it, you can say yes, agree. And if you are having very strong point on this, that yes, it is very 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 injurious, so you can say strongly agree on it. Like this you can answer other questions. So this is Likert scale. Again, you can see there are different, some more examples I have written. Open questions, it is like this, where you are just asked, like, please list up 3 things about your job. So you have to answer. They cannot give you options for this. So this is open questions. Close-ended questions can be of different types. Again, let me give you examples. What is your religion? You have been given the option. Also, in the last, there is one more, please specify, is given as the, if somebody are not from these category, they can be any other one. Category questions, it can be like, for example, you can see that they are asking for the end of the frequency of something. Like if you are doing this or that very frequently, once in a week, twice in a week, or whatever. Ranking question, where you have to answer it from 1 to like next 1 2 3 4, something like this. So in this they have asked the question that the question is that please number each of the factor listed below in order to importance to you in your choice on a new car. Means what did you like in a new car? You have to give options. You have to give ranking to that. So if there is no importance or importance, it can be decided by the ranking. So you have to give the numbers to the most important one, and next is 2, means the most important would be 1 and others would be like 2 3 4 and so on. And if it is you are providing no importance, you can provide it blank. So it is something, ranking questions can be asked. The next one is rating, in which a rating device is used to record the responses. Again, there is options are given, but yes, you have to tick the box accordingly. Then rating questions can be 1 2 3 4 5, as I have told you already. It can be from very good value to the poor value, or average to lowest to highest, average to very good, very bad to very good, slow to fast, or like you can see, friendly to unfriendly. Anything can be there. Then quantity questions, it can be quantity to which the responses number is giving the amount. What is your year of birth? So you have to write like this. Then matrix, where responses to 2 or more questions can be recorded using the same grid. In this, again, right, I'll tell you this thing also through the Google form by giving the live example of it. Just a minute. So right now I'm just telling you what is it. So on the same grid, means one side we are writing the question and one side we are giving the scale, and on the basis of that scale we are just giving the answers. Then constructing the questionnaire, there are two important things which is important. Number one, the order and the flow of questions. Means at the right time you should, when to ask what. So are you currently registered as unemployed? So if they are saying yes or no, then how long? If somebody is saying yes, then they cannot answer another one. But if they are saying no, then accordingly they have to answer basically. Like if they are unemployed, just a minute. So basically the question should be in sequence. You cannot ask them that how have you been registered as unemployed, and then you are asking are you unemployed. So you have to ask first the question. This should be in sequence, that if they are unemployed, then they have to answer this and that. Then there is another point which is important, which has to be considered: constructing the questionnaire. Volume. So the another point is constructing the questionnaire. So if we talk about this, how to go in the flow, that we understood. The order should be one after one in the sequence. Another one is the layout. Layout means how it should look like. So I am going to tell you in detail later as well, but still let me discuss that it should be designed to make reading questions and filling in the responses easy. It should be it should not be lengthy. It should not be very, very much confusing. It should be very specific. It should be attractive enough to understand by the respondents and to fill it, and it should be appear very easy to fill. It should not look like very long. Sometimes we add sections to this, then one after this they have to, one after each section they have to fill next, then next. So it looks very lengthy and the people doesn't feel filling it. So where the choice is between an extra page or any of the questionnaire, so we should always try to make sections within the page or try to be as specific as we can. So layout should be very specific. Then the characteristics of the good questionnaire includes: it should be concerned with a specific or relevant topic. It should be short and specific. It should be, the wording should be very simple and clear. The questions should have some objective, what to do, how to do. Then some questions like embarrassing question, you are assuming something in advance, hypothetical questions shouldn't be there. It should be presented in a good order. As I have told you, the order is very much important, when to ask what. Then it should be attractive, neatly printed and clearly arranged. Then there are various aspects of the questionnaires. It is not just, as we are writing the question one after one. As I told you, the order is different, should be okay, layout should be proper. So there are, again, how, in which sequence it should be. So the journal form means there can be some question related to personal information. Then there should be some questions, and also the sequence should be there. Also the formulation and wording should be taken care of. So now there are three things which we are going to discuss. Again, the formatting, as I have told you, it's not about words. It's not about, just the right questions, but how you are making it, how you are presenting it, in which format you are writing, means the sequence, the arrangement of the question. That is very much important. So basically, creating a form to obtain consent, it should explain reason of the study. For example, you can say that I'm so and so and pursuing PhD, or my research I'm doing from for this purpose, and whatever the aim of your study, and you can write it down something like this. So opening para can be there. Explain how to respond to the question. Sometimes people do not know. Most of the time now everybody is knowing, but still there are still some people who doesn't know that when to tick, when to click multiple options, when to click one option, when to write and what to write. So put questions properly and explain how to respond the question. For example, if we are writing 1 to 10 scale, then you should tell them that 1 is the lower or 10 is the lower. So this is how you should go. Then put questions in the blocks that are related. Same type of question should be asked in the same block. Means it should not be like that people are getting answering one type of question, then another, secondly another type of question is coming, then again they are coming to this. For example, they are talking about some factors affecting something, then again you're started talking about the challenges, then again you are talking about some other factors, then you are connecting to some scope or something. It shouldn't be like this. It should be in a proper sequence, and every type of question set of questions should be asked in a proper manner. Then begin with the emotionally neutral questions. Basically, the question shouldn't be like very personal. The those should not be like very personally oriented. You should ask some demographic questions from them, like you can ask gender, you can ask age, you can ask education qualification, designation, if they are working, their occupation. These things can be asked. These are general questions. Then remember questionnaire fatigue and don't put anything important at the end. Some It should not be very lengthy. Secondly, always ask the required and main questions in the beginning itself, because till the last people get exhausted and they do not take that much interest in filling the questionnaire. Consider skip pattern. See, nowadays if we have the option in the we are having the option in the Google form that it is, you can make it compulsory. Always make it compulsory, because otherwise people will skip it and your questionnaire can be of no use, the responses. And if some questions are not good enough, you can skip them. Okay. Now next one is wordings. As I have told you, that it should be it should be in a proper language, it should be simple, it should be free of ambiguity, and it should be very accurate enough so that answers can be given properly. Avoid embarrassing or offending respondents. Then make sure that there is a clarity in how to express questions. Then use vocabulary, proper vocab, so that the audience can understand. Write questions, don't use jargons. Write questions like people talk, not like people write. It should not be like very that you are using a very hi-fi language, or you are using some very bigger words. It should be like the general terms, the way people talk in general language. It should be like that. It should be very light. It should be then translated and back translated. It easy to understand. Now, so about the questionnaire wording, do's and don'ts. So use techniques for enhancing and recall. Shorten the reference period. Use landmarks. Provide a helpful context. Then provide cues to the stimulate recall and ask about the typical behavior. Basically, these should be the questions wording. Now let me talk about do's in the questionnaire and don'ts in the questionnaire. So start your questionnaire with a title and introduction, and as I had told you, the opening paragraph or a welcome message. Then provide confidentiality and anonymity, means their answers could be just used for the academic purpose only, and their names would not be getting open. Then follow this method, that keep it simple and stupid. Then means it should not be like very full of knowledge. The people do not and are not filling it for getting the knowledge, so it should not be like very much hi-fi. Then write questions and responses with clear objectives, proper and concise language. Complete sentences should be there, the grammar should be proper and correct, but always use the simple words. Be specific. Whenever you are asking the question, don't give the story of everything, just ask the specific question. Place personal and confidential questions at the end of the questionnaire, where people may not interested in filling those questions, just keep them in the last. and give them options to choose whether they want to answer it or not. Keep it optional, right? And it should be in the end, otherwise they will be offended in the advance itself, and then they will not be filling other questions as well. Then require responders to carefully read each question by varying the way to questions are asked. Sometimes who are the people who are not able to understand questions properly, so responders are required so that they can tell them what is required and what is the question and why, what that question means. Then allow don't know and not applicable responses where appropriate. Sometimes there are some questions which suppose not which can be, like, not to be answered. It can be, you can give them option like no option, like not applicable, don't know, not available, or you don't want to answer, don't know, such kind of answer you can give them. Then also let them like, whenever you are completing the questionnaire, you also test it, also go for a pilot study. Give this questionnaire to your friends or colleagues so that they can also fill it and they can give you some opinions. Then questions wording, don't do not ask respondent to make unnecessary calculation, like out of 100 women of your age, how many do you think they take pills or something. It shouldn't question the person, but you just ask the question, they will answer. Always try to give options. Then do not use leading question means don't ask one question after one question. Then do not use loaded question and loaded words, as I have told you. Have you ever stolen anything? So nobody can answer such kind of question. Do you smoke? So nobody is interested in answering such kind of questions. Then provide incomplete or overlapping response categories. Means if same the question is asked like, do you have you ever where you have received healthcare in past 12 months, you are also giving the option of health clinic, hospitals and private clinics. Somehow these are overlapping questions, so people may like to answer all three or two of them, so this may be difficult to understand. So don'ts in questionnaires: do not be vague. Then don't use abbreviations, acronyms and jargons. Don't ask leading question, don't ask open ended question unless necessary. It should, most of the time it should be close ended. Don't ask double barreled question. Then don't ask hypothetical question. Don't make, just whatever in your mind you want to ask, or you are having something. Then don't ask respondents to make unnecessary calculation. Already told you. Okay. The question asked should be relevant to the research problem. This is very much important. Again, I'm telling you the same thing. Whatever you are doing, the bus question should be very, very relevant to the research problems. Whatever the question, the research questions you are having, that should be answered by the questionnaire. Then as I have told you, constructing the questionnaire. So, if we talk about the constructing the questionnaire, so putting and the development, putting the questions in order, there should be some inviting, interesting questions. Not, it should be non-threatening, not very personal. So, demographic information can be asked. Most important, put difficult and sensitive towards end. In middle we should write most important questions. In the closing it should be very easy questions and routine question, background information. Slowly it should be like, gradually should be look like that it is on end. Now let's talk about beautification. You should always, like, if you are sending it to some companies, you want some bulk answers from each and every employee, so it should include a consent form, that if the company is allowing you or not, the place is allowing you or not, or then the title or the cover page. General instruction should be there. Then identifiers. For example, you can ask for respondent ID if somebody like an employee or some people like this, they are filling. If they are asking students to fill, so you can ask their roll numbers, their enrollment numbers. If you are asking someone, like you can ask their mail IDs as well. You can ask for their mobile number, so that anything, something which can prove their identity and can differentiate from one from the another. Different transitions like phase 1 2 3, different type of question. First giving the basic general question, then they can ask some frequency based question. There can be some tabular form questions in tabular form. So beautification is also important. uh, so now if we are creating a new questionnaire, so first of all what we have to do, generate potential items for the instrument, what is required, then test it, then correct it if there is a problem, then pilot it again, means again go for a test, again go for a pilot study. If it is good, then you can train interviewers or responders, so for that they can do the proper data entry, they can take the responses. Now if we talk about, as I have told you about already, this thing that data coding, entry and analysis, this is very much important. So if we talk about the data coding, it is like 1 2 3 4. So that is why keeping the questions proper with the options is always important. If you are putting questions with the options, and so it would be very easy to code them. If you are even having 5 category or 6 category, you can easily do that. For example, you can ask the area you are living in, it can be urban, rural and semi-urban. You can categorize it as 1 2 and 3, male female 1 2. You can say education qualification 12th, UG, PG, doctorate or other. So you can say 10th, 12th. For 12th you can say 1, UG for 2, PG for 3, doctorate for 4 and others for 5. Coding the data, putting like entering the data, and then we can go for analysis. So now we can see that the questionnaire can be sent through the, nowadays most of the time the people are using the e-versions, means they are using it through the Google Forms and other type of forms. Internet is providing various survey platforms where we are using. So earlier the postal one was also famous. Then email, internet and different forums are there. You can also ask for the data collection manually. Then telephonic conversation can be held, interviews can be provided, interviews can be taken, observation can be done, and data can be recorded. Then after getting responses from all these sources, we can also go for, like nowadays the WhatsApp is there, Facebook is there, LinkedIn is there. You can use all these social media and digital marketing tools for data collection. So these can be different form of questionnaire data collection. Now let me talk about Google Forms. Just a minute. So I'm again presenting my screen. Just a minute. See, you can open Google. From here you can directly type, or you can open these Google apps where you can see different things. You can choose farm, or if not, then you can directly go onto the Google and you can ask for the Google farm. You can select this, then try farms for work, or go to farms. You can directly go. So this is how you will see the this particular blank form. You can click. They are also giving options for other type if you want to use any template or something. So I hope every one of you is familiar with the Google Forms. Still, I have told you how to create. So RFI, I'm just creating it. So it will automatically, this is the title. So if I'm writing here even, so it will be created as this questionnaire on, for an example, work life balance. Fine. So you can do like this. Here you can write your the questionnaire or like title. Here you can say that I am so and so, and pursuing my PhD from so and so institution. Or you can write I'm doing one study on this particular topic for this purpose, and this questionnaire will be used just for research purpose. This questionnaire will be used just for academic purpose only. Okay. And then you can give them thanks and regards, whatever you want. Accordingly, you can say whatever, you can write your name if you want. So you can give them right. Now see what I want to show here, right? You can add the questions, you can write down the name. See, it is very in my questionnaire it is compulsory already. So if you want, you can put it compulsory. I don't want to keep the name compulsory, so I kept it like not required. But now I want gender to be answered, male and the female. You can add as many as options you want, so somebody can answer like this. Then, as I have told you, these are two options, but if you want, you can give up options in years. It will automatically give you some options here as well. I am just telling you. You can ask the short answer where they can say 1, 2, 3, 4, they can answer. Then you can also write something in paragraph if there is some questions which are like this. Multiple choice questions where they can choose one, like 20 to 25, 25 to 30, and so on. Then there is one more question I'm adding. You can choose option of check boxes. What would you like to eat in dinner, for example? I'm just giving option burger, pizza, ice cream. In this kind of option, they can choose all, or they can choose any one of these or two of these, whatever they want, right? But in this kind of questions, when we are asking just multiple choice questions, where they can answer only one. There can be some more questions type. I'm just telling you parallelly the drop down. For an example, in which city you are living in. So I'm just giving option Indore, Bhopal, I'm giving more options like Chennai or Bangalore or any of these. I'll tell you how it is gonna look like parallelly. I can tell you even just a minute. See, I have written this, so it will look like this. Okay. Then name, here people can write their name, or if they want, they can skip it. They can choose male or female, so only one answer can be given. Even in this kind of situation, when they are having multiple, you can choose only one. Whenever you are choosing another, the one would be not selected. In drop down questions, you can choose any of these and it will be selected like this. Okay. Then in this kind of question, when we are using the check boxes, we can choose multiple answers. If you want to eat only 2 things, you can do, and you can submit your form. Okay. I'm just submitting it. Okay. Now there can be more type of questions. Like, see, there was one more thing that on the linear scale we can answer, like, are you happy in life? And I am asking, I'm saying, like, very happy to not happy at all. See, now how it will be looking, I'll be telling you. See, the last question, it will look like on a parameter of 5. I can also do it till 10. So it will look different then. Let me refresh it. See, I can say very happy is 1, not happy at all is 10. So you can see the scale. So different type of questions you can create. You can also choose this multiple choice grid. In this kind of question, let me tell you, if you are asking questions related to work-life balance, you can talk about their job satisfaction, about their personal life, their daily routine. You can talk about habits. You can talk about salary, whatever. I'm just taking random things. And you can ask strongly agree. SA stand for strongly agree, then neutral, then disagree, and strongly disagree. Okay. Strongly disagree. See how it is gonna look like. I have used multiple choice grid. See, in this, you don't need to write each and every question again and again. People can get just like this. They can click 1, 2, 3, whatever they want, and they can do it, and they can submit. Okay. Another case, in this particular, we have used, see, short answer paragraph. We have seen multiple choice, check boxes, drop down, linear scale, multiple choice grid. Now the checkbox grid. What will happen with this question only? I will tell you. If it is getting refreshed, see, now the check boxes are there. Means I can also choose multiple answers in this. So which type of, obviously this question is not satisfying this checkbox category, but yes, if you want something like this, you can go in that, right? Now, if something is left, you can add date and time and everything. So if it is required, there is one more thing, file upload option. Let me tell you about this as well. Like, for example, if you are asking for some job interview options from the candidates and you are asking to attach their CVs or something like that, you can ask for the file upload. You can see it. Then basically the drive access would be required. So you can upload the file. Allow only specific file. You can just ask to attach document, spreadsheet. Sometimes happens, no, that people, we are asking for the Word file and they are attaching PDFs or something. So you can specify that you just want which kind of, or 3 kinds of, or 4 kinds. So whatever you want to allow them, you can do it. Or if you don't want any type of file they can attach, you can also specify how many number of files they can attach, maximum files they can attach. Then also you can specify upon maximum size, because ultimately this will be taking a space on your drive. So it's all up to you how much bigger size they can attach. Okay, so I think I have told you all the things about the questions. And then there is one more thing, you can customize the theme. For an example, you can choose the header. Let me come up first. Just a minute. Let me come up. So I have talked about this. You can see the title. See, it is changing its font. If we talk about the question, you can see that it is changing its font. You can choose the size as well if you want a bigger size. And this as well you can do. You can add image in the header, anything from here, or you can upload it from your own laptop. So for example, I'm using this and I'm inserting it, so it would be there. And now you can see how it is gonna look like. Now see the view. See, it will look like this. You can, if you are talking about the work-life balance, you can download any of the image from the Google, and then you can put it. See, I can also change the background color of it. See, you can change it. So it is all up to you how much, or if you want, you can go for any different color. If you want some vibrant colors, you can use it. Okay, add, and we are done. We are good to go with this. Whatever you want, you can customize it most of the time. This is the preview option. Then you can, here we can see the send option. You can, if you want, you can collect the email address by writing it, or compulsorily from here you can say collect or responders you made in it, or input or verified. You can compulsorily, you can put it there. Then if you want to send it to someone, you can write their email address. From there, here you can use the collaborator. For example, two of you are doing research, so you can go and send, and you can add collaborator. For example, I am using my one more ID in this, and using it as putting it as an editor, and I can send it, means we both can access the same file at the same time. Okay, now there are some more options which we can see. We can make a copy of it. We can add collaborator from here as well. We can take a print of this so that you can see which kind of questionnaire I have prepared. So this is how you can see your questionnaire will look like, which kind of options you have given. Oval boxes are there, square boxes are there, everything. See, you can see whatever I have formed. See, right? Apart from this, there was one more thing I was talking about, sections. So like for example, after asking these kind of questions, whenever I'm asking the questions of work-life balance, I want a section. So from here, I was adding the question. From here, I can take questions from another questionnaire. From here, I can add one title. The about questions about work-life balance, for example, right? It can be like this as well. You can again write something. For example, you can say SA stands for strongly agree, or something like this. You can put some more information here. So here I have added question, import question, then add site title and description. I can also add image, as I have told you. Again, here I want some photos from here. Any image I can see, work life balance. It can directly come here, and you can choose any of the image from here, and you can directly put in there. For example, I want this, and I have inserted it. So it can be here anytime like this. So now it can say that you are talking about work-life balance. You can add some video if you want, not image. You can also text, image, and video, anything you can add. Then if you want, like, upper section and this section is totally different. So what you can do is, here you can go the previous question and you can add section. Now see how it will look like. See, after asking this question, the next button is there, means until unless you are not answering these questions. For example, see, the compulsory question are there, and I'm going to next. So it will not be done because city I have not considered. So once it is done, it will go to next. Means once this section will be complete, then only you can skip to the another section that is having the questions of work-life balance. So this is all about Google Forms from my side, and about this questionnaire designing and data collection tool. So thank you so much, everyone. If you have any question, you can ask me. Any question? Anyone is having any questions, please?
It's an open questionnaire round. Now you can ask if you have any further queries.
Ma'am, do we require questionnaire to be framed even for science-based research work?
Ma'am, it depends. Which kind of research is it? If you are experimenting something, obviously not. If you are experimenting on some product or something like that, not. But yes, if you are if this experiment is related to somebody's query, there should be someone's input in this, then it should be. You can have, depending upon your title, ma'am, you have to decide whether you should ask question. You can ask question or not.
Madam, I want to ask one question.
Hmm.
Mm, Some sample of mixed method, quantitative and qualitative tool. I want to check
Ma'am,
out.
your voice is not clear to me. Can you repeat again?
Questionnaire for mixed method data collection.
Okay.
Questionnaire or tool for mixed method data collection. I want to see some sample like that.
Ma'am, still your voice is not this is problematic. Can you write the question in the text box? I will answer it.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Please write. If somebody else is hesitating in asking question here, you can also write down in the chat box, or you can ask me directly.
Hello.
Hmm. Yes, sir.
Hello, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes.
Huh. Ma'am, my question to you is it possible to frame a questionnaire if I want to prove another person's research false?
Sir, it should not be done in generally ethically, but yes, you shouldn't prove anybody's question or anybody's research false, but you can prove your research
No,
to
ma'am.
be
I'm
true.
not talking about, ma'am. I'm not talking about ethical point of view. Let's say, for example, you have found out a research that cow is having 5 legs, and I
Hmm.
want to prove that yes, the cow is not having 5 legs and the cow is having 4 legs. I'm not asking
Okay.
from the ethical point of view. I'm just asking from the research perspective that is it
Yeah,
possible to frame a questionnaire to prove someone else research wrong? Can we frame a questionnaire?
so that's what I am saying, sir, that you should not prove somebody else's, I think, else's research wrong, but you should also prove your research right, so that automatically it would be like that earlier whatever research has been done were wrong.
Ma'am, in that case, I would have taken your reference, right? When I'm saying that I'm right, I would have taken your reference. Then only I'm proving it that this hypothesis is wrong because H0 and H1 will be taking into consideration.
Okay. I got your point. That's what I am saying. That research is not, name itself is a thing. That research means again and again, whenever you are doing new research, you are proving earlier researches or supporting, either you are supporting or declining from the fact that whatever they have proven is right, means what hypothesis they have taken and proven to be accepted or rejected, and then your study is saying that that acceptance was right or not, that rejection was right or not. So ultimately this is how you can prove, by doing more research.
So, so at the end of the day, you mean to say that we can frame a questionnaire? That's what you mean to say.
Yes, ultimately, see, you want to prove something which has been, like, for example, if we talk about, if you have asked someone 20 years back that whether the ATMs will work or not, somebody may say, okay, it may work, it may not work, but since number of years we were using the ATM very nicely, but when COVID happened, everybody's habits has been changed.
Ma'am,
Nobody
ma'am,
would have think of it.
ma'am, I got your point. I got your point. But thing is that in this technological world, when the challenge is very dynamic, like for example, let's say I want to adopt an approach where the sales of a particular product will double in the next quarter,
Mm-hmm.
but I want to prove that that strategy won't work. Rather, this strategy would work. So
Yes.
we are talking. That's what I'm talking about.
See, in this case, sir, if you want to prove something like this, obviously you have to again you are saying the new strategy would work, the older one will not work. For that also you have to prove your second strategy, the new strategy, to be right. So again you have to implement that strategy, then only you can understand. You can just assume in advance that this will work, but you cannot say that. You cannot prove it right now until unless that is not executed or implemented.
But that can be done even without a questionnaire if. If
Yes, so
I'm not
sir,
sure, that's what I'm confused.
there are different ways of surveying. It's not only questionnaire. I have already talked about the interviews can be done. There can be some experimentation methods. There can be some observation methods. There can be different data tools collection. It's not only questionnaire, which is collecting the data or information for proving or disapproving something.
Okay, right. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Got it. Thank you. Thank you so much,
Anybody
ma'am.
else? Yes, sir. Thank you. Anybody else? Any other question?
Any more further questions, participants?
Madam, I have asked
There
that
is
mixed
one
method
person.
for mixed method sample.
Sorry, ma'am. There is one person asked by Vimla, ma'am. How many minimum questions are required in a question? So, ma'am, what I understand, as per there is nothing, no limits are there. But in case of tentatively, in case of a research paper, I assume that at least 5 to 7 questions of demographics and other questions should be around 20-25 for a proper minimum requirement of a study. For the thesis, ideally, we can take 10 to 14, 10, 12 questionnaire for the demographics and around 40 questions or 50 questions for the study. But depending, it may also come under the 30 questions also in terms of PhD, but not more than 60-70 questions because it get lengthy and it doesn't work then because people do not answer properly.
Madam, I have written in chat box for mixed method sample tool. For mixed method data collection, sample tool
Yeah.
I1.
Geeta ma'am also written her question that for mixed study method, which kind of sample tool means you are talking about, which kind of tool means data collection tool you are talking about?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so ma'am, mixed method is study in which we can also use close-ended and open-ended questionnaires, right? And we can also take interviews and we can also go for observations. Any kind of method, ma'am, it is also basically it is depending upon what do you want to study, what is your research questions, what are your research problems, that decides upon this, all this.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Any other question? Any other question? I think Nikita ma'am, everybody is done with their questions.
Yes, ma'am. I think all of us done with their doubts. So can we conclude the session?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. On behalf of Research Foundation of India, I extend my really hearty thanks to you, ma'am, that you spared the time from your very busiest schedule to grace the session. And it was really very informative, engaging, and thought-provoking session. And I want to give big thanks to all our participants also for being attentive and cooperative listener. So thanks to all of you on behalf of Research Foundation in India, and have a good day to everyone.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.